For 3 generations, my family's barn stood on the edge of the valley. It wasn't just wood and nails, it was where my grandfather stored his tools, where my father kept our tractors, and where I spent summers stacking hay. But to the HOA board, it was nothing more than an unsightly structure. I ignored their warnings, thinking common sense would prevail. But one morning, I woke to the sound of heavy machinery. Bulldozers roared, and by the time I reached the property line, my barn was nothing but a heap of splinters. HOA Karen stood proudly with her clipboard, smirking as if she'd won a war. "You were warned," she said. "The barn violated community standards. We're doing you a favor." A favor? They had destroyed my family's history. My blood boiled, but I didn't shout. I didn't threaten. I simply nodded and walked away, because I already knew something they didn't. Behind my land runs the community's pride and joy, a pristine $5 million artificial lake that feeds their fountains, lawns, and fancy boat docks. Decades ago, when the HOA begged my grandfather for permission to build it, he agreed, but under one condition: the main water valve would stay on our property. We controlled the flow. So that evening, under the cover of dusk, I walked to the old steel, wheel hidden beneath the weeds. My barn was gone, my heritage leveled, but the valve was still there. With one steady turn, I heard the groan of pipes and the sudden rush of water. By morning, the lake was gone. The once glittering jewel of the community was now a cracked, muddy crater. Ducks waddled through the muck. Boats sat tilted in the dirt. Sprinklers coughed dust instead of mist. The HOA screamed, demanded answers, threatened lawsuits. I simply showed them the deed, the legal agreement, giving my family control of that water supply. "You took my barn," I told them calmly at the next meeting. "I took your lake. Fair trade." They never spoke of rebuilding the barn or refilling the lake again. And me? I built a new barn, stronger than before, right where the old one stood. A reminder that some legacies can't be bulldozed.